Alright, for my audience today, I have some of the Luther wrestlers. Has anyone had a family or friend who has been diagnosed with cancer? Or more specifically, has anyone had a family or friend who has been diagnosed with colon cancer? Today I'm here to talk to you guys about colon cancer and what it is, and some of the symptoms, stages, treatments, and preventative measures of colon cancer. Colon cancer is a cancer of the large intestines, and it affects the final part of your digestive tract. There are over 200,000 cases of colon cancer that happen in the United States every year. My dad was one of those who has been affected of colon cancer. He had stage 3 colon cancer and was diagnosed last year. Some of the symptoms for colon cancer are a change in bowel habits, rectal bleeding, blood in the stool, feeling that your bowel doesn't empty completely, weakness and fatigue, and a sudden change in weight loss. My dad, during this time, experienced all of those symptoms. Some of the risk factors that happen with colon cancer are you're more likely to be affected at an older age. Most of the time, it happens at 50 or plus years. If you're an African American, you have a higher chance of being diagnosed with colon cancer. Also, if it's in your family history, for example, my dad was diagnosed, so that puts me at an increase of being diagnosed with colon cancer. If you're obese, that doesn't necessarily put you at a higher risk of being diagnosed with colon cancer, but it makes the treatment options a lot harder. And that goes for the same with diabetes. So here we have a picture of a colon, and here's the bottom of the digestive tract, and here is where the tumor took place in this colon. And here's the inner layer of the colon, and as you can see, this darker area right here is where the cancer has taken over that inner layer of the colon. So most cancers have 4 stages, and that goes for the same as colon cancer. So I'm going to explain to you the 4 stages to colon cancer. Stage 1 is when the colon cancer invades the mucosa and submucosa, but it doesn't spread anywhere else. Stage 2 is when it spreads past the colon wall. So now you have it in the mucosa and submucosa, and it also has spread past the colon wall, but nowhere else. Stage 3 is when it starts to get in the nearby lymph nodes, and that's what stage my dad had with colon cancer. He had it in 10 of his 20 nearby lymph nodes, so he would have been considered stage 3 cancer. Stage 4 is when it spreads to other organs in the body through the blood and the lymph nodes. So now it's in all different areas of the body. There are 3 main treatment options for colon cancer, and the first one is surgery, the second is chemotherapy, and the third is radiation. And a lot of times, all 3 of those are used to treat one diagnosis. In stage 1, surgery is most of the time the only treatment option you need. That's just where the tumor's inside the colon, and you can just remove it and hopefully be done with everything. In stage 2, surgery is a lot of times needed, but you also may possibly have to do chemotherapy or radiation just to kill the leftover cancer cells that may still be lurking inside. Stage 3, usually all of those take place: surgery, chemotherapy, and a lot of times radiation. And in stage 4, chemotherapy and radiation and surgery are also used. Many times when you get to stage 4, the tumor is already pretty big, so a lot of times they want to do radiation beforehand to try and shrink in the size so your surgery is at less risk. Some preventative measures are to get checked, to get a colonoscopy. Doctors recommend for average risk to get a screen at the age of 50. If you're at a higher risk, which in this scenario would be me, because my dad had it. It's recommended to get checked by doctors 30 to 35 years of age. So I hope from doing this speech that I went into depth and you guys learned a lot about colon cancer, some of the preventative measures. Now you know some of the stages, the symptoms, and treatment options. Thank you.